Welcome to Midnight Broadcast, where the echoes of yesterday still speak, if you know where to listen. Tonight's tale: whispers in the wall. A room no one enters. Whispers no one admits hearing. And a house that remembers far too well. Settle in, dim the lights, and listen closely. Chapter 1. The House on Braeburn Street, 215. Braeburn Street was the kind of place the postman walked past a little faster. Its gate leaned like it had given up trying to stand tall. Ivy strangled the porch rails, and the once white clapboards had faded into a grayish, uncertain color, like the house couldn't quite decide if it was alive or dead. Inside, the walls were lined with faded wallpaper, roses curling away from the corners like they too were trying to escape. The air always smelled like old books and ash, even though no one had smoked in there for years. It was quiet, too quiet, but not empty. Mrs. Grafton had lived there her entire life. She took in boarders, mostly writers, artists, people who needed silence. She never advertised. Somehow, they always found her. When Vincent Dwyer showed up on a Monday afternoon with a brown suitcase and hollow eyes, she didn't ask many questions. "There's only one room left," she said. Chapter 2. The Last Door. On the left, room 3B was at the end of the hall, tucked beneath the eaves. The key stuck in the lock like it didn't want to turn. The floor creaked beneath Vincent's boots as he stepped inside. The ceiling sloped down in an odd angle, casting crooked shadows. A single iron-framed bed, a desk, a lamp with a fraying cord. The wallpaper here was darker than the others. Green vines and black roses. But it wasn't the furniture that made him hesitate. It was the silence. There's a kind of silence that feels thick, like velvet soaked in something you shouldn't touch. Vincent stood still for a long moment, holding his breath. And then, he heard it. A whisper. So soft, it could have been the wind. Except the window was shut tight. He stepped closer to the wall. Nothing. Chapter 3. Sleepless. By midnight, the whispering returned. It wasn't words at first, just a breath, slow and steady, as if someone were sleeping behind the plaster. Then came the fragments. "Don't forget. Behind the roses. Still watching." Vincent sat up in bed, heart hammering. He pressed his ear to the wall. The surface was warm. The next morning, he asked Mrs. Grafton if the house had mice. She looked up from her tea. "That room's been quiet for decades." Chapter 4. The girl who vanished at breakfast, Vincent met Eleanor. She was another tenant, wore round glasses and always carried a black notebook. Said she was a poet. When he mentioned the whispers, she didn't laugh. Instead, she said, "Did she put you in 3B? He nodded. "There used to be a girl there. Alice. 19. Lived there in 1954. Wrote letters to someone who never answered. One day she locked the door and never came out. They found the room empty. Window shut. Door still locked from inside." Vincent felt cold crawl down his back. What happened to her? No one knows. Chapter 5. The Diary. 3 nights later, Vincent found something behind the radiator. A book, thin, leather-bound, pages warped from heat. A diary. March 3rd, 1954. They're talking again. Behind the wall. They say my name now. March 5th. I tried to tell Mrs. Grafton, but she only smiled. Said I was sensitive. Like the others. What others? March 10th. They know what I'm dreaming. They whisper it before I sleep. March 13th. There is someone inside the wall. Not dead. Not alive. Chapter 6. A name. In the wall. Vincent couldn't sleep. Every night the voices grew louder, clearer. He started talking back, asking questions. Who are you? Why me? What do you want? The whisper responded. Remember us. He peeled the wallpaper back with shaking hands. Behind it, etched into the plaster, names. Dozens. Faded, scratched over, but still there. Near the bottom, a fresh one. Vincent Dwyer. He stumbled back, but there was more. A handprint in the wall. Small, delicate, like a child's. Burned into the wood. Chapter 7. Mrs. Grafton's secret. That morning, he confronted Mrs. Grafton. You knew, he said. About the voices. About Alice. She didn't deny it. They never left, she whispered. Not really. Some people hear them. Some join them. Why me? She looked at him like one might look at an old photograph. Because you're hollow, like the walls. Easy to fill. Chapter 8. The final night. The storm rolled in around midnight. Thunder cracked, rain beat against the roof like fists. Vincent sat at his desk, the diary open beside him. He wrote his own entry. They're inside now. Not just the wall. My head. My hands. My thoughts. The lights flickered. He stood and peeled the last of the wallpaper back. Beneath it, a door. Not real, but painted. A perfect outline. The whispers rose like a chorus. Join us. He reached out. Chapter 9. Gone. When Eleanor knocked on his door the next morning, there was no answer. The room was empty. No suitcase. No notebook. Just a single page left on the desk. Behind the roses, I found my name. Mrs. Grafton rented the room again 2 weeks later. A musician this time. Quiet man. Said he liked silence. Some houses hold more than echoes. Some walls were never meant to be empty. And some names, once written, are never forgotten. This has been Whispers in the Wall, brought to you by Midnight Broadcast. We'll leave the light on for you. But don't be surprised if something else answers.